First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that are scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is the end game, total control. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So I have a quick Google search of an article about these microchip under the skin. You know, we know that we're coming very close to the implementation of this, you know, where you will not be able to buy or sell. You know, this thing is getting ready to come reality, even though we know what's going on in the Middle East, but we know before all things is said and done, for all things is finalized, we know that they got to bring forth this grain of rice. So I decided to bring out a lesson with this today, because this is where we at, very close. And also there's a lot of rumors that, you know, a lot of these different countries like the UK, which in fact is Europe, you know, they already saying that by the end of this year, by around October or so, that they're going to bring forth this new digital infrastructure, this new digital society, this new digital prison, you know, where you will not be able to participate in society with not having it under your skin. So you're already knowing that's going to be dealing with your biometrics, going to be dealing with transhumanism. A lot of these things are coming into play. Also, universal basic income. These things right now, you know, they already have it here, you know, so the stage is set, you know, so this C-HIP is getting ready to come all the way live very soon. Also, we know right here in our own backyard, Babylon the Great America, we're already saying that, you know, keep telling you about this real ID, keep telling you about digital IDs are a UN global ID. So this thing is going to be worldwide, you know what I'm saying? It's going to affect everyone on the planet. The hour of temptation, or the hour of testing, the hour of chipping. You know, these things are coming fastly approaching. In the middle law, you know what I'm saying? Constantly been warning you about, starting with the elders and apostles and the bishops of great millstone on down, you know. And one thing about we seeing right now that these Bible prophecies are speaking loud and clear, you know. They're not lying anymore, they're not tearing anymore. So right here, you know, it's that title of the day lesson once again is the end game, total control. So that's exactly what they want, total control, you know what I'm saying? They want control over your entire a body, you know, in which in fact, you know, this the so-called white man, the modern day so-called white man, the red man, you know, he has a God complex. And one thing about it, but he's constantly imagining a vain thing. And one thing about it, the Lord's getting ready to cut him off. So we seeing that we're in this transition of power. We seeing that these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. And one thing about it is that, you know, you get ready to make a decision. How you gonna serve Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai? Are you gonna serve what? Satan, you know, which in fact, you know, the physical counterpart of Satan is what? Is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, we already knowing that we're very close to these times. This technology is already here. We know that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. We know that war is upon us also, you know, a time of trouble that we've never seen before, the hour of temptation. We goes over these things left and right. So let's get a little bit of this news article. It says here, this here is by Alvarez Technology Group. And it says the rise of microchipping. It said there's an old saying that goes, I have got money in hand. Said, and now with the rise in microchipping technology, that's going to be true. So this technology is already here. This 5G, 6G blockchain technology. So right now, you know, a lot of people still are unbelieving, or still said this is not that ain't that. But where these things are constantly what? Lining up just like clockwork. Revelation chapter 13 is speaking loud and clear. Said the rise of the microchipping, said the chip in the hand implant, said that lets you pay with your hands. Let's get some of these key points. He said, instead of carrying your wallet, a British Polish company wants you to carry carry it under your skin. That's the end game. It says here, the company sells microchips as alternative payment options that allow you to pay with your hand. So it's not going to be an option. It's going to be what? It's going to be what you call, what I'm trying to say is going to be mandatory. And also this will be forced on you. You'll get ready to make a decision. You know, it says here, verse, this other key point is here. It said, the first microchip was implanted into a human back in 1998, but the technology has been available commercially only in the past decade. So we already know the first time I heard about it, you know, they was putting these chips, RFD microchips, in these what you call pets. You know, we're telling you that, you know, to locate your pet if they get lost or whatever the case may be, you can locate them with this RFD microchip. So we're seeing that they constantly gradually bringing it in, you know, bringing it in left and right, gradualism. So it's a lot of things that they're doing, you know, predictive program, a lot of things that they're constantly, you know, enticing you with to bring forth this MOTB, which in fact is the mark of the beast, the RFD microchip, that grain of rice. It says here another key point. It said the pay with hand microchip is a little bigger than a grain of rice, said, and weighs less than a gram. You know, hey, we here. He said you can use the chip to pay whenever contactless payments are accepted. So we know at some point that they're going to do away with the physical currency or the fiat currency or the petro dollar. You know, we already knowing that, you know, we're very close that the dollar's getting ready to be obsolete. We already seeing that it's on a sharp decline. Also, we seeing that the BRIC nation is rising. You know, a lot of things is constantly happening. So we're constantly seeing this transition is taking place right before our total control. We'll not be able to buy or sell. We'll not be able to go into a city without having this under your skin. A lot of things get ready to happen. Life-changing events. It says here, it says there's an old saying that goes, I have got money in hand. And now, with the rising microchipping technology, that's going to be true. So a British Polish company is developing a way of putting money in your hand. So exactly right. The CBDC, so that digital CBDC, you know, digital money that they get ready to come out with, you know, Bitcoin or what's the other one name? The stable coin, you know, it's going to work hand in hand with this RFD microchip. So that's going to be your new money in your hand or under the skin. So it says here, developing a way of putting money in your hand, not in the traditional way, but in a whole new way. And it got many people talking. You know, you already know this is already going on in Sweden, also Europe, you know, and also other like countries like I think certain parts of Africa. You know, it's constantly spread. Also, we already know that China, they are already on the forefront of doing all these different things. Social credit score, you know, what is this? Carbon footprint, and a lot of things are coming. Biometrics, you know, dealing with face recognition, palm, hand, just wave your hand. You know, a lot of these things are coming into play. You know, it is here. This technology is available as we speak. The company sells implantable payment chips that you can use to pay whenever contactless payments is accepted. So it's going to be accepted globally very soon. So the world has been working on such technology for a few years, but until the past decade, the technology was unavailable commercially. So the tech is a natural advancement in the way that we make payments. So they're getting ready to change the whole payment system, the way how you do your transaction, your buying and selling. You know, so you will not be able if you do not have this under your skin. And one thing about a lot of people are going to line up. A lot of people are going to trust in this system. They're going to trust in this type of technology, and they will be totally destroyed. A lot of people will be deceived. But one thing about the one that will not be deceived are the true believers, the elect. We will not bend a foe, even in death. We already know, you know, said that, you know, you refuse, you will be put to death. You know, these guillotines that they already have in place. And also you can look up, when you get a chance, look up the Noahide laws. A lot of these things are coming back into place. We're coming upon some very, very dangerous time. It's time to seek the Lord. It says here, the company has developed a microchip that weighs less than a grain and is smaller than a grain of rice implanted in your hand. The process of chip implementation isn't painful. Isn't painful because the company ships the chips with local anesthetics. So we see it right here. They already have the applicator and everything, the syringe, everything is ready to go. So after implementation, you have to activate the chip using a digital wallet app, and you'll be able to buy with your hand in outlets and accept contactless payment methods. The chip comprise a tiny the chip comprise a tiny microchip and an antenna wrapped in a naturally sourced biopolymer capsule that medically certified. It says here the chip utilized the near field communication NFC, the contactless payment system, says in smartphone used by Samsung and Google Pay. So other payment implants utilize radio frequency identification, the RFID, a traditional physical contactless credit and debit card use. So this is already is in place. So they just letting you know that these are the key points that they're constantly bringing out there that you have to activate. It's already going to be activated. And also, if you took the juicy juice or the hokey pokey, so you already have a digital download, that you can receive information. You have become a walking device or receiver. So as far as I'm going to go into that, one thing about it, look up, a lot of different things, look up DARPA. A lot of these things are here already. So one thing about it, we already knowing that, a lot of things they're constantly putting right into your face. So that's all we're going to get at this right here. So we see it right now, the rise of the C-hip, so we are knowing that we are very, it is fast to approach. At the end it shall speak and not lie. Let's get this here. Let's get a quick precept. Let's go here to Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. It's straight to the point lesson, something I just in the spirit said, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So exactly what's getting ready to happen. We're seeing right now these events that constantly happen, taking place right before our eyes, not a prolonging anymore. It's speaking loud and clear, and these scriptures are coming to life right now. And one thing about it, you'll get ready to make a decision very soon. The hour of temptation, the hour of testing is fast to approach. Let's read this in the NLT. It said this vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. So exactly what's happening. So now I start today's video, and after the video we'll start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
A microchip implanted beneath the skin gives people the same capabilities as dozens of cards and devices, and it's not as painful as you might think.
What was once confined to science fiction movies
This may be a little uncomfortable. Just implanted a radium diode. They're the access codes to your job spot.
is now reality for a bunch of Sydney tech heads.
Pay, open doors, and have my business card in there as well.
Remy Baker and Mitch Hunter from PhD Media are being microchipped to simplify their lives.
My work pass and potentially my Opal, which will allow me access to my office, to use the printer, to use the scanner.
We won't need any ID cards, we won't need any PIN codes. We won't need any sort of access cards or anything, so we can live a much sort of freer life.
The microchip, which is the size of a grain of rice, sits under the skin. Data from your bank card, payment method, building swipe, LinkedIn profile or medical history is cloned onto the chip, which is implanted in the hand. Using the same technology as tap and pay cards, the chip can then be used to open security doors, pay for a coffee, use public transport and access information you've programmed onto the chip. This technology also has the potential to save lives. Skeeve has loaded medical data onto the chip in his hand, so if he was found unconscious, all you'd need to do is get a phone, tap it on his hand, and you'd have access to medical data like his blood type as well as any allergies he has. For those concerned about privacy, the user controls what data is made available. Visa says it's possible for any device to become enabled for payments.
Yo, I just left Whole Foods and you can now pay with your palm. This is literally just another way to get bioinformation. They want data on your genetics. Do not sign up for this. What makes it even worse is that you still have to put your card in. This is called predictive programming. Predictive programming is when they subtly introduce you to concepts to prepare you for future changes. Right now it's your palm and your credit card, but eventually it'll just be your palm with the chip inside, which they actually already have out now. It's just going to become more popular. Check this out.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand. Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet. Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
Credit cards, which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden. No cash. And in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete.
Yo, comment RFID below and I'll DM you that.
See what's happening now? The World Economic Forum says the central bank digital currency must be implanted under your skin if you want to participate in society. Without it, you won't even be able to purchase food, water, or access your bank accounts.
So now let's start today. Listen, we go straight to the point. Let's go here to Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. You know, right now at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. It shall surely come. So we read upon that time. We already know what's happening in the Middle East. The Lord is constantly gathering the nation for what? The controversy of Zion. So we know that we're very close at this time. You know, this is at the door. You know, we'll start here at verse 16. We'll start at 16. We already know that the system is in place. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 says, And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, to charagma, in their right hand or in their forehead. So we already know about that, the grain of rice. Also, we know about what the Neuralink. All these things are already in the place that that brain computer interface chip, you know what I'm saying, whereby, you know, these lying wonders, you know, they're saying that, you know, you'll be able to see again, you'll be able to walk again, and make you stronger, make you faster. You know, a lot of these things, it's very convenient, very safe. So we at this time, it's going to be what? Globally. I already telling you about the real ID, telling you about what? The digital ID. So everything is boiling down to what? To identification, and what? Surveillance, tracking, and tagging. Let's read this once again. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, to charagma, the grain of rice, in their right hand or in their forehead. So this is where we at right now. So you will not be able to buy or sell, make any type of transaction, do anything in society without having this under your skin. It's plain and simple. You know, so all the game's about to be over. Verse 17 says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. I kind of jumped the gun on the first one, but it's the same thing. You know, will not be able to do anything. You know, you will not be able to be participant of this new system if you're not have it under your skin, trying to be very careful, so just like I said, it's going to be global, it's going, everyone, small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, it's getting ready to happen, so a lot of people right now say, I'm not going to take it. They're going to have to kill me. Well, the Lord is getting ready to find out. The hour of testing is coming. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do this. You're not going to do it. But you don't, if the Lord is not dealing with you and, the Lord is not on your side, you are going to take it. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lawless time. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing right here now that this technology is already here. That blockchain technology, 5G, 6G. It's going to work hand in hand with the CBDC. It's going to be your new money, universal basic income. They're going to entice a lot of people. A lot of people going to get enticed by this. They're going to offer you, we have this 5,000 a month or this. Yes, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these wicked Negroes, these wicked Latinos, these wicked Native Indians are going to line up like clockwork, and you will be totally destroyed. Let's read it once again. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark to Charagma, or the name of the beast. This system said, or the number of his name. So I had to buy that badge of servitude. And one thing about it, which in fact is an idol, and one thing about it, a lot of people are going to line up and take this idol, because the one that saves his life shall lose his life. Want that sense of normalcy, but it's nothing is going back the same. So we see it right here that, that you see they already have these things set up in a lot of these stores, Amazon, with a Whole Food, Costco, a lot of different places. The technology is already set up, it's in place, just wave your hand, over this scanner, whatever, like they're constantly getting people programmed, what's called predictive program, getting you already in tune, getting you enticed, getting you ready to receive this mark. But if you take it, you will be totally destroyed. Verse 18, Salaki. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 18, it said, here is wisdom, let him that has understanding, who has the understanding, the true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Abshai, the elect. It said, count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600, 666. So that about is going in stigma. You know what I'm saying? That goes into a badge of servitude, a branding, in what you call implant. We'll put it like that. So this is, if anyone take this mark, you know what I'm saying, you can't repent from it. And that about a lot of people say they can just take it out. It's not going to work like that. A lot of these things that they have right now, it's already this digital download. We put it like this, hokey poke. It's already done converted people. And changing things. We'll put it like that. So this right here that's coming, is that, you're going to have to be a part of the elect. That's the only one that's going to make it out of here. Let's get ready to be a global event. Everyone is getting ready to be tried. We seeing that slowly that this place is beginning to, it's constantly turning into a police state. Already knowing that the king of Babylon, President DJ Donald Trump, he already saying that they're going to have this system in place. Look at, when you get around to look at Project 2025, look up that, it's all, part of the plan. Surveillance, total control, tracking and tagging, constantly monitoring, reporting, a lot of things to get ready to happen, these smart cities, goes into all these different things. So now let's go here. Let's go here to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. If you take it, says here, this is the penalty right here. Let's go here. Salaki. Let's go on the speed pass right quick. Let's read it right quick. It says here, verse 9, Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9 said, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, this system, and receive his mark to Charagma, the RFD microchip, or the Neuralink in his forehead or in his hand, verse 10, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Almighty, which is poured out without mixtures into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Verse 11 said, and the smoke of their torments said ascended up for ever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark in his name. So one thing about it, so it's plain and simple. You have to suffer the second death. The second death is America. It will be a lake of fire, Babylon the Great, with those IBCM missiles and that laser and chariot fire. So one thing about it, so that is the penalty, and you are going to suffer. They will know it, death by pain. So one thing about it is, we got to trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem. Let the Lord direct our path, because we're coming upon these times. Lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh. So let's go to here to our last and final script. Let's go here to 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians, we're going to go straight to the point. 2 Thessalonians, we'll start up at verse 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. So we already know, we seeing the mystery of iniquity already work. You know that the earth was given in the hands of the wicked, the revised Roman Empire. We're seeing it at work right now, but it's only for a short season. And that he who now led it is talking about Yahweh by Hashem Shai. So the Lord is in perfect control. So he has bound that he cannot pass. So Lord is going to take him out of the way very soon. So we're in that time period right now, whereby he's getting ready to be taken out of the way. Esau is the end of this earth age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. It says in verse 8, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the wicked has been revealed, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, and the Lord shall consume him with this wisdom, this knowledge, gospel, but what his mouthpiece, the prophet. And he says, and shall destroy him with the brightness of his coming. When the Lord show up, when you go to Revelation, I think it's chapter 1, it's every eye shall see him, even the one that pierced him in that great fathership. You know what I'm saying? So one thing about it, the Lord is coming very soon, take down all these nations, all these government, and set up that one government, which in fact is Yasharallah. You know what I'm saying? It's the kingdom that will last forever and forever, which in fact is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 9 says, even him who is coming is after the working of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. And out about, we already know the physical counterpart of Satan is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And out about, he's come with these lying wonders, these counterfeit signs and wonders, which in fact the Neuralink. You'll be able to walk again. You'll be able to see again. You know what I'm saying? You'll be smarter. You'll be faster. You know what I'm saying? It'll make you better. And one thing about it, you'll live forever. All these different things he's constantly bringing to you. And a lot of people will get in tight, and you will be totally destroyed. Verse 10, it said, with all deceivingness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Verse 11 said, and for this cause the Almighty Yahweh by Hashem Shai shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. So a lot of people are going to believe a lie because it's going to be convenient to them. A lot of people say, I had to do it because, I had to, I needed my job. I had to feed my family. My wife made me take it. The Lord don't want to hear none of those excuses. You had pleasures, and unrighteousness. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's going to give you a strong delusion. You know what I'm saying? He's going to choose your troubles. The Lord's going to choose your affliction, because what? You did not trust in the Lord. Let's read this once again. It said, verse 11 said, for this cause the Almighty shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. So a lot of our people are going to believe this lie, and they're going to be totally destroyed. They're going to be deceived. Anyone that consent, anyone that submit, you know what I'm saying, will be trodden underfoot, which in fact is the second death, the lake of fire. We're here, man. Verse 12 said, they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasures in unrighteousness. So those are the two-thirds. And these heathens, you know what I'm saying, they all going to have unpleasant and unrighteousness and wickedness. They love the wickedness and evil and hate the good. So one thing about it, we're seeing right now, we're coming very close to the implementation of the RFD microchip. It's fast approaching, you know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast, it is here. Stage is set. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is the end game, total control. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom. Shalom.